Hello YouTube, today I'm going to show you how to put a canoe or a kayak onto your pickup truck rack. And first of all, you need to have some kind of rack to put it on. Mine is an Atarack brand pickup rack that would fit on an F-150, but they make them for all late model pickups. There's plenty available from Yakima and Thule, lots of different options. They'll find a way to fit to your whatever vehicle you have. I used to have another pickup that had a camper top, and we just had a Yakima rack on top of that, and that works great too. And you would basically do the same thing when loading your canoe or kayak onto that. The first thing I do is I set the canoe on the back of the rack, and then I will slide it all the way forward to the front. And if you're doing it by yourself, this is the best way to do it. If you have two people, you can just lift on either end of the boat and set it on the rack. Another thing I didn't mention, it's a good idea to have some kind of feet or holder for your canoe or kayak. You can just tie it down to the rack, but if you have some kind of feet to tie it down to, these ones are by Malone. They're Malone canoe carriers. Then your canoe is a lot more stable, and even if your tie downs come loose, which they sometimes loosen up a little bit with your boat heating up and cooling down in the sun, these will keep it in place no matter what. Also, if I've done this before without the feet, and sometimes with high winds, it'll make your boat will shift, a couple inches on the highway from one side to the other, which is kind of scary, so it's a good idea just to have them. So toss your strap over your boat and then take it under and around the cross member, and then toss it back to the other side and connect your strap, and then ratchet it down so that it's tight, but don't make it so tight that you damage your boat. And then take the long end and just wrap it around and tie it to the cross member so it's not flapping in the wind. Another thing is you want to use good quality tie downs, just because you don't want your boat to fly off at 75 miles an hour down the highway. And these ones are by Malone, and they've been good, but any of the name brand, thick name brand, I think Yakima probably makes or sells some that are good. As long as you visually inspect them, if they look old or worn or brittle, go ahead and replace them. A lot of people will tie a rope to the front and the back of the canoe, which probably doesn't do a whole lot of anything. And maybe if I'm going on a real long trip, I'll do this, but I don't usually. If I'm just going to the lake, 30 minutes or an hour away, I usually don't tie a rope to the end of the boat. If your boat sticks out real far, you might have to tie a little red flag or something to the back to let other drivers know that it's there. The last thing I do, which I didn't do in this video, is I will stand on the ground and grab the canoe by the back end and give it a little shake. And you want the canoe to be sturdy, and you want the whole truck suspension to move a little bit, just to see that it's tied down tight. And I just do this to make sure it's, like I said, like it's tight. And then that's it. You're pretty much done, and you're ready to hit the road.